The Labour Ministry is calling for transparency regarding business relief measures. Minister Thulas Nxesi wants employers to help their workers using funds from the UIF. The lockdown has left many without jobs.
The issue about the lump sum, which employers cannot be able to allocate to the employees, they must just be honest. We don't just pay. We pay based on the payroll which has been submitted by the employer with all the figures. And we're not paying the whole amount. We're paying, and it's in the legislation, 38% because it is a relief. And we had budgeted for a period of 3 months. And then we'll see what will happen after 3 months in relation to COVID. But I must also say that there remain challenges, and the challenges particularly where employers are also not assisting their employees to claim. We have calculated that some 220,000 workers entitled to claim have not yet done so. And we are endeavoring now to contact those individuals.
Nxesi says workers can't take the fall for their employers' mistakes. He's appealing to companies to make sure they seek funding through the right channels.
We should not punish the workers because of sometimes irresponsible employers. That's what we are saying. And if they had been registered as companies, they could be eligible for the government benefit or government relief scheme, provided they've registered as companies. We sit with them, we interact with them, and we're able to help them.
All right, let's discuss this further with Thulas Nxesi, IQ Business Chief Economist. Thulas, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So government outlining exactly what's going to happen. Also interesting to note that these measures will continue until the end of this year.
No, absolutely. I think it's certainly a sign and a signal that government is expecting a protracted, playing out of the corona pandemic into the economy, and so I think already now they're starting to, preliminary prepare for continuing to bring support into the economy for an extended period into the rest of the year.
And let's talk about the UIF situation. The minister is being clear about how exactly this is going to work. There are some companies who have been taking money from their workers' salaries but not actually paying it to the UIF. Now these workers can't get any help.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in times like these, there's certainly always going to be opportunists who try to cut corners for whatever scrupulous reasons on their part, and I think it really does spoil really good initiatives. We've already seen from the UIF now that there are about close to 25%. It's actually about, including the people who ought to be claiming from UIF, it's already about 25% of claimants. So it's in essence 2 million people should be right now having levied claims via UIF for the temporary employment relief scheme, and these are some of the things that are starting to contextualize just the extent and the benefit of the relief that is coming into labor participants in the marketplace. And I think we shouldn't be distracted by the companies who are taking corners, and I think the full might of the law must follow those companies and ensure that they are brought to book for their unscrupulous behavior.
There are many people who say these economic relief measures are still not good enough. There are many businesses that will collapse during this period. Is there anything else government can do?
I mean, so there's, they spoke about an interesting way of looking at the tourism sector, and it's certainly one of the ways we ought to be looking at the economy as a whole, is around survival, recovery, and then prospering. And so what needs to be in place to ensure that the economy actually survives. And so I think we're starting to see, a lot of the measures, the tax, recommendations that are coming in are certainly looking at, bringing some reprieve primarily for businesses. And of course, we've seen some of the social response from a government point of view now trying to look at how do they continue to support the marginalized people in the economy. But then over and above that we certainly have to also, in the same context, have a conversation around prospering. And I think that's really around what does it mean to build capacity into the economy right now to ensure that we have an economy post-COVID. And some of the things that are certainly for me have been interesting prospects. One is around how we've now started moving towards ensuring our supply chains, particularly for medical equipment. We know manufacturing had been a declining sector in our economy for a while, and now there are certain opportunities for us to fast-track that. We're seeing, the million mask challenge that's happening in the textile space. Again, textile is also one of the sectors that had gone, under a lot of pressure over the years. And now there's opportunity for us to accelerate and to bring velocity into that kind of a sector, very quickly into bringing capacity and capacitating the economy in a current and a post-corona environment. And so I think certainly businesses should also look around what does it mean to pivot in the current economy. We've seen how the likes of SAB or AB InBev now are making sanitizers, and so which means that there's certainly opportunity for a lot of other businesses who are making other things to look at different ways in which they can participate in the economy or in a different economy, in a different market context that we are seeing now on the back of COVID-19.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Thulas Nxesi, IQ Business Chief Economist.